the Land Rover Discovery 1, arguably one of the most significant vehicles in Land Rover's history, if not the most significant and most important. The Land Rover Discovery 1 is the vehicle which saved Land Rover from bankruptcy in the late 80s and early 90s, and for that reason it is one of the most legendary Land Rovers ever made and deserves a lot more respect than it actually gets. Looks awesome. Land Rover Discovery 1. The Discovery 1 is also the vehicle which pioneered Land Rover's 200 and 300 TDI diesel engines, which then inspired the TD5, which came later on in 1998 and was featured in the Discovery 2. But this episode is about the Discovery 1. Our story begins in the mid-80s, and Land Rover is looking for a vehicle to fit into a new market which has appeared, which is for younger people who have just started their families and are after a 4x4 which can be used every day but isn't too over expensive or too rugged. So something exactly in between Land Rover's already existing Range Rover and Defender model. So they came up with what would be nicknamed Project J, which would then go on to become the Land Rover Discovery. During this time of development for Project J, the Land Rover decided that to power it, they needed a new turbo diesel engine, which would be better than their pre-existing 19J and 19J turbo diesel engines to go into the Discovery. I have a full story on the 200 and 300 TDI engines, which they would then make, with the 200 TDI coming first and the 300 being launched in '94, and I'll link that video in the description. Originally, during development for the Discovery, Land Rover made it just a 3-door, and so at its launch in 1989, it would come out as just a 3-door, with no 5-door options being available until later on, so that they didn't detract sales from their already existing classic Range Rover, or at the time, Range Rover. The launch of the Discovery itself took place at the 1989 Frankfurt Motor Show on the 16th of September, but it was launched to the press to drive in October of 1989, and the launch there took place in Plymouth Hoe. One of the reasons for the Discovery's launch taking place at Plymouth is that it's nicknamed Land of Discovery. Here is some footage of that 1989 launch now. During the launch, there were vehicles which had one of two engines fitted, either a 200 TDI diesel or a 3.5 litre carb Rover V8 out of the classic Range Rover. The 200 TDI got a lot of praise from the press at this time of the launch, with them liking its slow down torque and drivability. Pretty much all of these early Discoveries came with some stickering on them, which had the Discovery emblem and some compasses and some other stuff. I'll put an image up on the screen now. But few of these still have their original stickering on them. The Discovery one was originally a huge hit for Land Rover, with them getting loads of orders in for them really early on. The few of these early Discoveries which are still left have gained quite the following, with there being a preservation group for the pre-1993 models, called Project J. Here's an interesting fact for you about the launch. At the end of each day, all of the Discoveries were taken back to that bus bay, and they were then bodged and fixed up by the mechanics, ready for the next day. As part of the launch, they took a police livery, Discovery 1, and put it on a train track with some mild modifications, and hooked it up to some train carriages, and it then pulled the train as a stunt for the launch. Land Rover themselves actually also hired a painter to paint an official painting of the Land Rover Discovery 1 driving around Plymouth Hoe. Here's that painting now. The new Discovery also came with some new paint colours, which include Arkan Grey, Foxfire Red, and Marseillese Blue. To find out more information about the original 87 launch vehicles, go and check out the Project J Preservation Group website, which I'll leave a link in the description and on the pinned comment, and they also have information on the current status of all of them that they know of, and some information about each of them, and a load of other information about early Discovery 1s, so go and check that out. All of these early cars came with a blue interior, and some of them even came with this cool blue cubby bag, which is currently extremely collectible. I actually own an original blue steering wheel off of an early Discovery 1, and a rear wheel cover. Here is the original 1989 Land Rover Advert for the Discovery. So guys, that concludes it for this episode. There will be the next episode coming out next Sunday, and so on. I hope you've enjoyed, and have possibly learned something new in this episode about the Discovery.